Lei aveva questa R moscia che le dava una...
Today, no music. Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
Angelo Badalamenti.
He say, oh, that's it. Oh, it's so beautiful. Angelo. Oh, he's tearing my heart out. I love that. Just keep it going. Now, she's starting to leave. So far down. Keep falling. Keep falling. Keep falling. Now go back into the darkness.
Stefania, Chiara è una persona solare, mi dicevi.
Solare, simpatica, semplicissima, che amava studiare, si è laureata a pieni voti.
Abbiamo visto anche ieri sera filmati.
Ci risiamo di nuovo, siamo di nuovo dentro.
Il 13 agosto del 2007 entri in casa di Chiara Poggi e la uccidi?
No.
All the party. Simple. Range it's October 31, Tolly. Halloween name Tuss last Friday. It's October 25, 2025, David, Mr. Lynch, David. Mr. Lynch, can you hear me from here? He goes, and if can't believe it. It's a Friday once again. 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 Eating neighbors. Hey, Mr. Lynch. Slide, Mr. Lynch. Can you hear me from here? Because if can't believe it. It's a Friday once again. 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 In Poi sono finito sia a Fiorella, ho vissuto copyright surely for this episode are considering passage from the summer to the autumn, and also at the Bogola, last ultimo change in temporary increase up to the in 4 weeks, last 4 weeks. Now the air is completely changed and pleasant, with the air also meets the same temperature and this so the sun and these things makes the condition of the situation completely pleasant. To this, at least for me and also for people, probabilmente finché non because they feel cold, probabilmente finché io saranno si pensano, in genere per me in stile, in genere qui absolutely I can see the things that just before the release, it's a bad art, at least it seems. If I can really feel as I'm feel on this. It's a Friday once again, as uno Cristoforo, hey Friday. It's a Friday once again, as uno Cristoforo, hey Friday. It's a Friday once again, as uno Cristoforo, hey Friday. Lasciami parlare di ça. Lasciami parlare di ça. Fantastic Electric Red, Black and also White Resort, the 5th in the story of White Reports, proprio this is the new because and this is the new since practically I'm using it since I think 4 months. I also lost the content of the single character black on the milk but no the squeaky bottom milk breakfast. But I promise you at one time so I damage better to do and say the precise date which or better precise Friday which I start to show you it to you and see these things. Whereas weird time should be 4 months, perhaps 4 and a week, no? Obviously in that period were also the 2 previous resources, respectively the third red and white and fourth blue and white and so slightly different model that was were still alive and they crashed in fact 3-4 weeks later in comparison with the time which I started to show this to you. Obviously this is good because it's new and only for those who don't know, for those who don't know my bird is 30 minutes and I shaved it through it obviously at in 2 different rounds because its battery runs only maximum 20 minutes, 15 minutes, maximum 20 minutes. I don't know, I think it's a battery problem, but the important is that it covers all the operation, and so I show you once again better, black, red and also white. These are slightly different model. Good that remember is only the first razor, not the first one, the second. Yes, and it is the 5th razor. And also waterport in general for this system 40 channel. Nicola Stavrovis waterport in inizio da non sono insieme, se canno storto a Brigia. Abituale che buone chance, a seconda se non è per me, music, se mostro essere preso su il vabbè, o se si dice per il gatto. Vedi al freno, finché 3 operazioni ti dice, repeat just before, 73 Fahrenheit, 23 Celsius. Anche, non garantiamo che non ci vedi, se fuori di dice. Yes, there is the cortina sono 3 cortine in generale, sciolti almost perfect. Se si suppose, infatti non does not repeat this pratically totally white cloud. Sky, sì, more grey, sì, grayer, sky, so in general, and I am considering according with I read, or considering yesterday, according with I read and see my sensations are things I think that, later at the beginning dark bleak and loose that my train Fatto al film non si from it fin quelli crossi, così, let's see what will happen. But as we know, visual intelligence and wizards, so once we see if here, so come scrivi today here. Band, so si release from the quindi non gosto so senza la mamma, se tu prendi canzoni che si mangiano, really closest, one day to the 3 consecutive years, till tomorrow, November, Saturday, November 1. In fact, music is in quote from Little Thing Rough, perfect, si può tenere in some years, and also si può prendere per il ben certo, today visible on me, both when there isn't, and also when there is, but more when there is, because if measure, I also read the series it a special sentence disease, but also knows better vision for me, it's a theory, in short. Si considera la seconda è conosciuta lui attivissimo sostanzialmente si lo so say the same little speech or sentence used for routine repeat si dice but also knows better vision for me it's a theory in short si considera finally from a mediocre keyboard and GX can 40 EPG 625 also the GX is managed certo. Questo non è più cioè riportarsi il meeting dove era sono un buon esiste sono myself posso boschetto finally you and get the black dates date in general insomma fa così rilevato una formale ma quello importa se fare vedere che c'è sempre il titolo se non fa per questo internet su video stato vita diventare parte del test finché te la sei insomma 3 su essere ciò dove ripeto a due close si carrega late also formals they're just really obviously just 13 and 15 minutes. But the important thing is to show cinema settings and may also be fortunate I'm really young. And that's the same. Ecco fa si sono most beautiful things left in the world. Absolutely, as you know, I know that most one year is should be the time in the period. I also the contract effect of reason but come si trova that one time as well time c'è 4 si trova se precisamente team c'è stato di sì all these things for the non shots abbiamo sì che si inizia il gioco per talk about most one year but some was shots with my favorite biscuits are many of comes the beautiful biscuits and yes I think one of the best carta su biscuits are chocolate chip cookies chips chocolate chips and if not mistaken also first biscuits Mr. Ninja in particolare altro di extra di se vedete la lista per sempre tu mi quattro shots non sei che una tonica di coffee così ma tu sono che chocolate fa sono dato una shot fa come ti dice c'è shot la nife lasta sono 10 le abbiamo mosso si che should be done video lo so si lo so conto sono ne età c'è quattro su lo uso non è quick because ti finisce now is one second we brought it to one second I think 70 71 days lo si che lo so conto ma tu si che should be done video non sono ne età c'è quattro su la sua pattern inserta di one second in mix perché non uso e quindi se lo l'effetto di cosa breakfast ho reso buon se spin in particolare adesso per spin in particolare me va bene si che se la video sta gioco per che bazzo mostro mania ma tocca a me riferimento to first time so that video iniziamo also we can say that all Nicholas breakfast always a memo bomba as I continue about since fact any for I'm si sta Conrad tendenza di nascere mi sarà sempre position cosa ma per esempio position for me era Obama i tendenza di ecco hai trovato come motivo because era really super bad. Sì, tomorrow suppose if I'm trying I can't tomorrow to let them all see